Of the students surveyed at Madison High School, fewer than 84 said they have never purchased an item online. This is about 1/8 of those surveyed. How many students were surveyed? So, like with most word problems, we want to start with our variable. And the variable comes from the question that we were asked. And the question this problem is asking is how many students were surveyed? And so that's going to be our variable. Let's do, I really want to do S for students, but my S's always end up looking like fives and confuse me. So I'm going to do N for number of students surveyed. I find that anytime I use the letter S as a variable, inevitably I end up treating it like a 5 and messing everything up. So we're going to use N for number of students surveyed. Okay, so this is 1/8 of those surveyed. So I'm gonna try this in words first. 1/8 of those surveyed is fewer than 84. It says fewer than 84 is about 1/8 of those surveyed. So 1/8 of those surveyed is fewer than 84. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is take this sentence, 1/8 of those surveyed is fewer than 84, and turn it into an inequality. And the reason I know it's an inequality, not only because the title of these notes is writing and solving an inequality, but also because of the phrase is fewer than, looks like this. We sometimes call it less than, is fewer than, same thing. It's fewer than 84. Boy, my math colleagues would get mad at me if I said less than and fewer than meant the same thing. That some people are really strict about it's fewer than, not less than, but whatever. So let's do the other part. 1/8 of those surveyed. So 1/8, and then the word of means multiply. Of means multiply. So 1/8 of those surveyed, and our variable n was the number of those that were surveyed. So 1/8 times n is fewer than, less than, 84. So here's what our equation looks like. 1/8 n less than 84. So we know how to solve this from our time solving equations. To get rid of the 1/8, we use the multiplicative inverse property. What is the inverse of 1/8? It is 8 over 1. And multiplying by the inverse of a fraction equals 1. So 8 over 1 times 1 over 8 is 1. So this leaves us with 1n. Of course, we can't multiply one side by 8 over 1 without also multiplying the other side by 8 over 1, which is same thing as multiplying by 8. And let's see, 84 times 8 is the same thing as 80 times 8 plus 4 times 8, which is 672. Sure, 672. So how many students were surveyed? So we surveyed fewer than 672 students. And that is the first inequality we have solved using a multiplication property. We multiplied both sides of this problem by 8. We could have solved this by using the division property, dividing both sides by 1/8, but it would have turned out the same because dividing by 1/8, of course, is the same thing as multiplying by 8. So multiplication division property is kind of interchangeable here.